A warm welcome to Tanim Rasul from our title sponsors, NDAX.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for attending my session. It's great to be back at the Futurist Conference. I had such a blast last year, and I'm always reminded when I come to this conference how great our ecosystem here in Canada is and how this is really one of the more premier events compared to those across the globe. For those that don't know me, my name is Tanim Rasul. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of NDAX and part of the founding team. NDAX is a leading cryptocurrency trading platform built here in Canada, and I'm just super excited to be here. I stood on this stage exactly a year ago at the Futurist Conference in 2022, and my session last year was about the bear market and some lessons that we can learn when we're in a bear market. And the key takeaway of my session last year was to prepare and plan while you're in a bear market. To prepare, to prepare, to prepare. Unbeknownst to me and to everybody in the room at that time is that we would not be prepared for what was about to happen a month and a half after the conference last year. And that was one of the darkest days in our industry since it began 15 years ago. And I'm trying to talk about the collapse of FTX and the erosion of trust that that platform had with its customers, with regulators, with stakeholders, and government officials. So my session today is about building trust in the crypto economy and how we can try to repair what's been taken from us by FTX last year. Unfortunately, what happened to FTX has happened before in our industry, and it continues to happen. It's a pattern. And that pattern is that centralized platforms continue to break the trust of customers who trust in them to hold their assets. The OGs in the room will tell you back in 2011 to 2014, they remember using Mt. Gox, the leading crypto exchange at that time. And those that remember that 850,000 Bitcoin were stolen off that platform. That could have changed so many people's lives. And between 2014 and now, we've seen so many different exchanges in different countries across the globe have the same sort of incidents, either an external cybersecurity incident or internal employee theft. And we're not immune to it here in Canada. Many of us were victims of Quadriga, the leading crypto exchange, the incumbent platform here in Canada that lost millions of dollars of crypto assets for Canadians. The irony of this whole situation is that this entire industry was built on one vision and one idea, that Satoshi Nakamoto was skeptical. He did not trust centralized authority. He did not trust central banks. He thought they would debase currency. And he did not trust how the traditional financial system relied so heavily on these trusted third parties. And how in the traditional financial system, we've been victims for so long of when these trusted third parties do the wrong thing. It's not a coincidence that Bitcoin was built out of the end of the great financial crisis in 2008. So how could us as an industry who look to avoid these mistakes of trusted third parties shoot ourselves in the own foot and continue to do these types of things? So how do we build trust back? How do we get the regulators back on our side? How do we get the general public back on our side? And it's not sexy, it's not easy, it's not by getting a celebrity to put your t-shirt on in a commercial or put your name on a stadium. It's to do it the old-fashioned way. And I'm reminded of when we started NDAX back in 2017. Only a few hundred people knew us in our local city in Calgary when we started. And how do we build trust across the nation for people to put their hard-earned money onto our platform? And the way you build trust is through time and effort. And the number one thing we decided to do as a platform was be transparent. Who was running our company? Who was the management team? What did we do before NDAX? Where's our headquarters? Can you show up to our office? Is someone there? Can you call us on the phone and speak to a human being? Transparency leads to understanding, which leads to trust. And I think more organizations that are dealing with customers and customer assets need to be a lot more transparent. I understand crypto users are typically private by nature, but us as organizations don't need to be private. We need to be transparent so people can understand and see who's really behind these organizations that you're putting your money in. In addition to that, most of our platforms, we work quite similar. You put your money in, you buy the crypto asset that you want, and then you withdraw it. That's not how you build trust. That's just showing that you're operating typically and normally. Trust comes when something wrong happens, when your deposit doesn't show up or your withdrawal's delayed. How does your organization respond to your customer inquiries? What we did was made sure that we communicated with our customers every day, that when things went wrong, that we took that anxiety away from our customers, that we helped them, that we communicated with them. And I think over the past 5 and 6 years, a lot of our organizations, we've become so big and we've forgotten about how important it is to reduce that anxiety with our customers when things go wrong. We need to go back to the basics and make sure our customers are always heard and helped. The other big thing that I think a lot of organizations are not doing, and I'm proud that at NDAX that we're doing it the right way, is it's time to open up the hood of your organization. It's time to stop being so private, and it's time to let independent, external auditors and examiners come into your system to see if everything is being done correctly. I'm so proud that every year we do a financial statement audit, that we have a Canadian auditor come in and look at our financial statements. I'm so proud that NDAX is one of the only crypto trading platforms across the globe that has their SOC 2 Type 2 audit, to prove to people that we don't just walk the walk, that we don't just talk the talk, but we walk the walk, that our policies and the procedures that we have, that there's evidence behind that we follow those procedures. I really hope that when I'm on this stage next year, that we've helped repair some of that trust that's been taken away from us by the FTX scandals. I was in the United States just a few months ago, and I witnessed firsthand this war and this crusade against our industry because they've used what happened with FTX as a fuel to come against our industry. It's important that we work together, all of our organizations, NDAX, our competitors here today and around the globe, to repair that trust. And it starts with making sure you're doing the right thing. You're making sure independent people are looking into your organization to make sure you're following the rules. And at the end of the day, it's about the customers and making sure we're servicing customers and taking their anxiety away. I thank you all for taking the time to listen to my session, and I hope this time next year that trust has been repaired. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanim Rasul from NDAX.